Hello and welcome to Kitchen and Craft. For first timers, thank you for stopping by. For returning subscribers, thank you so much. So it's my first time making Oleku Iro and Buba, and I thought to show you how I made it. So if you're ready, let's start right now. To make my Oleku Iro and Buba, I'm going to be using this fabric, this lace fabric, and I'm going to be using 4 yards. You can use 5 yards, you can use 6 yards, whatever you have, but I want to manage 4 yards of this lace fabric to make my um Iro and Buba, Oleku Iro and Buba. But before we start, I'd like us to consider specific measurements. There are other measurements that we are going to use. So I'm trying to zoom into this particular. Don't mind my sketching, but let's assume these are neck and these are hand, these are body. Three specific measurements that are cogent for this are from the backbone to your desired length, wherever you want the sleeve of the oleku of the buba to to stop. What makes it oleku is because the buba is short. That's what makes it oleku. So if this is your wrist and these are your fingers, if you want the buba to be here, it is no longer oleku. It is now towosobe. But if the buba is short, that is what makes it oleku. So you are going to measure from the backbone to the your desired length. If I want it to be here from here to here, is one measurement that is important for this project. Number two, that is important is the length of the buba itself. That is from this side of our hand, this shoulder, after the neck, you take your tape rule down to some inches at your hip level, your desired length, the length of the buba that you want. Very important measurement. Another measurement that is quite important is the largest circumference of your body. The largest circumference of your body. Some people, their bust area is the largest circumference of their body. To some people, their stomach area is the largest circumference of their body. To some people, their hip area is the largest circumference of their body. Whichever is the largest circumference of your body will be needing it, because it is the largest circumference of our body that we use in folding the project, the buba that we want to make. So having explained this, by the time we get into the project, it will not be strange to why certain things are done in certain way. Thank you very much. You can subscribe in case you have not. So guys, let's cut the iro first before we do the buba. For the iro, I want to use 2 yards and 6 extra inches. 2 yards and 6 extra inches is going to be just enough for me, because I will attach a bow at the back. I will show us how we'll do that when we get to that part. So we are doing 2 yards, which is 36 inches. I'm just showing you how I went about sewing my own. I am not a pro, you know, but it's part of crafting, and this is kitchen and crafts. So today I'm in the craft section, and I'm trying to do my buba and iro the oleku style. This is 36 inches. 36 inches. Hope you can see that. Then I'm going for another 36 inches. This is another 36 inches. That's the second one, making 2 yards. Then I'll go for extra 6 inches. This extra 6 inches will be sufficient for me for the folding in and all that. So I have to give it a notch and cut out. So guys, when cutting out, just be very careful so that you have a straight cut. Now I've cut out my 2 yards and 6 inches. I'm going to put this aside so we can do the buba. I said we'll be needing the backbone to desired length measurement. We'll be needing the length of the buba itself. We'll be needing the largest circumference of our body. So for me, my desired length, the backbone to my desired length for my buba. So guys, I want to cut out the buba, the Oleku buba. I talked about backbone to desired length of the sleeve. I talked about the length of the buba itself, and I also talked about the largest circumference of the body. The largest circumference of the body is what will determine the folding. Where is the book? The largest circumference of the body is what will determine the folding. The length of the buba is what will determine the height that we need. Okay, and backbone to desired length is what will determine the length of the sleeve. Are you following? And I said for the largest circumference, it varies. Some people, the largest circumference of their body is on their breast region. Some is on their stomach region. Some is on their hip region. For me, the largest circumference of my body is on the hip region. And I am going to, my hip is 45. So 45 divided by 4 is what I will work on. 11 and a half. So that is what will determine my folding into 4. First of all, I fold into 2. What determines my folding into 2 is the desired length. My desired length of my buba is 26 and my fabric is up to 26 exactly. Can you see? 26 exactly. So I don't have any problem with that. I fold that into 2. It's fold into 2, 26. Now to fold into 4 again, because I want to cut the back and the front together. Buba does not have joining at the shoulder, so I want to cut the back and the front together. Remember, I fold into 2 and I'm folding into 4. What determines my folding into 2 is the length of the buba. What determines my folding into 4 is the largest circumference of my body. I said the largest circumference of my body is 45 divided by 4 is 11 and half. So mine is 11 and half, but I'm going to do 12 and half because of allowance. I don't want a very big buba. Remember, we are doing the Oleku buba, the Oleku buba. So this is 12 and half. The next thing is to do the armhole. I'll be using 9 inches for my armhole. And you're going to cut your armhole on the part where the four sides are open. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are going to give it a notch. The next thing we want to do is to cut the neck width and the neck depth. So we'll come to the part that is folded. And remember, this is a white fabric, and we are doing all this our chalking on the wrong side. Even though you're using a Akara fabric or any kind of print, you are doing your chalking on the wrong side. Now, depending on the wideness you want and the depth of the neck you want, but you will not want to make it too wide. So I'll be using 3 inches width by 3.5 depth. 3 inches width. I'm going to chalk it, and the depth 3.5. I'm going to chalk it. So what I'll do is to draw a straight line from this 3 inches to this 3.5 depth. I'm going to have to wash this stuff so that the yellow doesn't show. Alright, after doing this straight line, connecting the width to the depth, I'm going to form this C curve. Just this C curve. Then I cut it out. Scissors is so. See how I cut it out? Spread it out like this. And you have your beautiful neck line. And the next thing is to cut the sleeve. Now, because I'm using a lace material, I had to watch to carefully check how I'm going to place it so that the attire comes out at the tip of the hand. And this is my leftover fabric. So I'm going, and my attire is here. I'm going to have to fold this way. Fold this way. Can you see me? So that the attire comes at the end. Attire is the lacy material that's at the tip of your buba. Yes. So to determine this, we already have from the backbone to the desired length. From my backbone to my desired length is 22. For my backbone to desired length is 22. You remember. Now we have already removed 11.5 from the body side, as in 11.5 is already here. So 22 minus 11.5 will leave us with 10.5. So what we want to sew to add to this is 10.5. What we want to cut, the fabric we want to cut to add to this is 10.5 in length, and the width will be exactly 9 inches that we use for the armhole. You remember that we used 9 inches for armhole. The wideness of the sleeve will be 9 inches, but I'm doing 9.5 for sewing allowance. I'm doing 9.5 for the sewing allowance. This is 9.5. Then the length is 10.5, but I'm going to make it 11 because of sewing allowance. So having cut that, I'm going to use this sleeve, take it to the other edge where I have a TRJ, and I'll be able to cut out the sleeve from there. And I'll also ensure that it's equal at that edge. So whatever I have left, I'm going to be joining it for my gele. So I've been able, guys, to use 4 yards to cut out Iro and Buba, and I have this left over for my gele. So guys, this is what we have. I still need it because I'll do this now. The sleeve must be equal to the armhole. The leftover here is for allowance. The armhole is 9. The sleeve has to be 9. So guys, from my leftover, I like to cut out the facing that I'll use. So I have a fold, unfold, then I also bring it unfold this way. Then I open up my buba bodice, fold it in two, and then I place it on the folded area. Can you see? This is my buba. This is the fabric that I folded 4 places. In 4 places. I place it like so, and I use my chalk to mark out that part. Can you see? I bring it out. Then some people use 1 inch, but I prefer to use 1.5 inch from that circle I drew. I prefer 1.5 inch. I go again, 1.5 inch. I go again, 1.5 inch. Practically take 1.5 inch all round, and then I cut it out. I cut it out. I've cut out that, so I cut this. Next, I've done this to the right side. Get a matching color needle and thread. So practically what I'm going to do is to hem the edges here. I hem the edges, then sew this round, like half inch round the neckline. I will notch it, then fold it backwards. Let me repeat myself. The front, we have the front of our body side on the table facing up. The facing, we will have to face the front side of the fabric. The back side will be facing up. The front side, the right side will be facing this. Then first thing is to hem the edges of the clothes so that it doesn't freak out. Then with the help of the sewing machine, sew round the two fabric. Then after sewing, we'll notch it and then we'll raise it. We'll notch and we raise it and then turn it out. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I have sewn it round. The next thing for me is to notch and raise. Knot it gently because my fabric is a lacy and not a strong fabric. And then I'll raise. Notched all of them from the back. Now I want to raise. When I raise, I turn it to the front side. This is the facing. So the facing and the notch part will face the down of my machine like this, and my right side will face up. Then I sew the facing with the notched part. Do you get it? This is what we call raising. So we notch it, we raise it. When sewing, you ensure that you are taking time to pack this notched parts on the side like so. So you make sure that your sewing, your machine is climbing on them. When you're working with a lace material that has stone, be careful to pick off the stone to avoid your needle from breaking. Yes, I've finished that. So I'm going to have to stock this inside. This is our neck side. I'll give this a very good press, a very good ironing. I'll press it. You see, the seam line is not showing on the neck side because we use the raising. We use that technique for the raising. You see, it's just seamless and beautiful. The next thing is to join the sides together and then add our sleeve to it. Remember that our armhole is 9 inches, so you just make sure you have an accurate measurement. This is 9 inches and this is where 9 inches stop, but I'm going to go in a bit by half an inch. You know, I added 1 inch allowance, so I'm going to go in by half an inch. You guys are supposed to give me some chalk. This is where our half 9 inch is. You can see this 9 inch, 9 inch. So I'm going in by half an inch. for the seam allowance. So I'm going to sew here down. So when you get to this part, you fold in like half inch inwards twice, so that you have this slit at the edge. So you see me, I'm carefully removing this so that I sew it. It's supposed to be a slit like so to the edge. I'll do this on the second slit to extend the thread. So to join the sleeve, basically this is what I do. I ensure that the edges are equal. And then I sew down. Remember our half inch allowance. Edges nìkan ni kó má lọ ba gbogbo lace jẹ́. Guys, after we have joined the sleeve together, as in the two sides of the sleeve together, what it remains now is for us to sew the sleeve with the body of the cloth. That is, to attach the sleeve to the body of the cloth. Now I found out that if this thing is done carelessly, you will lose what you are trying to make. You understand? So in other words, be careful what you are doing. Please follow me carefully. You understand? The sleeve that has already been joined will be on the right side. You can see the stones. This is the right side. Then the clothes that you want to add, the body, will be on the wrong side. This is the wrong side. This is the right side where the stones are showing, and this is the wrong side where the stones are not showing. So because it's a lace material, you be careful of the attire. The attire, this part will be outside, as in on the hand, not inside. So this is what I'm going to do. Through the neck of the cloth, to the neck side, I put my sleeve inside. I just hope you can see it well. I put my sleeve inside to come to the armhole, such that this joint part will be resting at the edge of the joint armhole. Other part will be at this part that is not joint, like so. Then I want to start sewing from this part. I want to start sewing from the joint part. And when you are sewing, please open it up so that you form this hole. So I'm going to start sewing from this part, like so. When you are sewing, ensure that your machine is not picking the other side of the sleeve. It should just go around like so. And ensure, if it's a lace material, that you have cleared the stones so that the stones will not break your needle. After that, you pull it out. You see, You pull it out, so the wrong side and the wrong side are together. So for this edge, I'm going to be using 1 inch and few inches, or just let's say 2 inches. It's not up to 2 inches, as you can see, but on the other edge I'll be using 2.5. So this is how you fold it. After you did this first folding, you pick half-inch inside, half-inch inside. You are resting on it, and then sew. If you remember, this is the wrong side. I'm sewing it to the wrong side of the fabric, so you sew this all down. So I decided to do 1 inch for the other side and 2 inches for that other side, so that it doesn't reduce the measured length of my fabric already. So this is 1 inch, as you can see. I'm just going to put it across this way, then pick a little inch like so inside and sew. I said it earlier that I was going to put a strap on the wrapper. I'm using doll face for it, and the doll face is measured. So I measured on fold. On fold, I have 4 inches. At the edge, I cut it slanting like this. So that will be the tail of the belt. Just have a slant cut. Guys, please, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And until I come your way again with an exciting craft or job in the kitchen, keep being creative, improve on your DIYs. Bye for now.